can't believe that the CEO of our company demoted our safety officer. He'd been working in that job for over 10 years. I feel bad because he didn't know that I was supposed to take a drug test prior to transferring into my new job. Why should he be punished because I wasn't tested? Our company received a penalty for thousands of dollars just because I changed positions?
What you just saw sadly occurs all too often in the aviation industry. Designated employer representatives, or DERs, who don't understand or are confused by the rules are repeatedly putting their companies at risk. Failing to comply with required drug and alcohol testing rules is serious business. Here are a few examples of just how serious it is. One of the most common mistakes made by a DER during the pre-employment process is failure to drug test current employees transferring from a non-safety sensitive position to a safety sensitive position. In this situation, the DER and the employee had both worked for the company several years. Due to their working relationship, the DER assumed the employee was drug-free. Without reviewing the employee's drug and alcohol records, the DER approved the employee for transfer based on their personal relationship. Any employee that transfers into a safety-sensitive job must have a negative result on a DOT drug test prior to transfer. This is the same process a DER must follow when hiring a new safety-sensitive employee. You can review the regulations on the FAA's drug abatement website at faa.gov/go/drug abatement. Covered employers, regardless of size, must have a compliant drug and alcohol testing program. Here's another situation that can be problematic.
When I started this repair station, I didn't want to burden any of my employees with the DER responsibility, so I chose to do it myself. For the most part, I think I did a pretty good job checking with previous employers on our new hires, but sometimes things just fell through the cracks. And then my lack of asking for documentation and reviewing it really cost me big.
The DER position in any company is vital. If you don't have the time and resources to devote to it, then delegate the responsibility to someone who does. In this case, the company owner did not follow the regulations. He didn't contact the previous employer in a timely manner to obtain the employee's drug and alcohol history for review. DERs are responsible for keeping companies in compliance with FAA drug and alcohol testing regulations. A good DER is familiar with federal regulations, company policy, and day-to-day operations company-wide. Surprisingly, many DERs fail to conduct a records check with the previous employers or ask the employee if they have previously tested positive or refused a pre-employment drug or alcohol test. This exposes the company to potential civil penalties, not to mention the safety risk of putting someone who may be a threat into a safety-sensitive position. It is vital to promptly obtain and review information from former employers. Follow-up information can be acquired via letter, email, or fax, any method that ensures confidentiality. This information should be properly documented and retained. Compliance with the FAA's drug and alcohol testing regulations is designed to ensure safety and reinforce the integrity of those holding safety-sensitive positions. It is your responsibility to uphold FAA regulations. It's as simple as that. Educate your employees on the personal and professional consequences of drug and alcohol use. All of this starts with a well-informed DER. Here are a couple of best practices to consider during pre-employment. When hiring or transferring a person into a safety-sensitive function, revise your employee status forms to include a block that indicates a negative test result has been received. Then make sure this block is checked before an employee is hired or transferred. The application process is the ideal time to acquire written consent, allowing release of information from each of the applicant's previous employers. Until an applicant signs a release, a records check from the previous employers in the past 2 years cannot be legally conducted. Save yourself time and trouble. Put this item on your to-do list now.